Hello and welcome to another segment of Interviews That Matter. I'm your host Raj Mehta. Friends, in this segment we bring those guests who influence our lives. This includes elected officials, policymakers, heads of major organizations and other dignitaries. It is my sincere hope that the knowledge brought in by these guests will help our community. Today we have such guest. His name is Jonnel Doris. Jonnel is a senior advisor for the New York City Mayor de Blasio's WMBE program, Women and Minority Owned Business Enterprise Program. Mr. Doris, thank you so much for coming, sir.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, but it's really important for us that you took time to come here today and give the information as much as you can and as much as we can grab it from you.
Absolutely.
So we intend to open your mind and do a brain surgery.
I don't know about brain surgery, but certainly happy to share as much information.
We're just taking out knowledge. We are not opening up anything, so don't worry about it. Yeah. So I wanted to actually talk to you first about you, that
Sure.
who you are. I know you're the senior advisor for the New York City Mayor's WMBE program, and that's a huge deal rather.
Sure.
And I wanted to know about you, that how did you reach there? Obviously, where did you start it, and how did you reach here? So please tell us about yourself first.
Yeah, well, sure. So Raj, thank you so much for having me on the program. It's been quite a few years since I've been in this space, and it's good to be back, good to be here to talk to you a little bit about the mayor's vision for the MWB program in New York City. Right. So for me, as you know, I started my career out here in Long Island in Hicksville.
Wow.
Old Country Road at Keyspan, right out of grad school, working there for a few years for the team there. Right. And then moved on to New York State Senate for some time, ran my own small business for some time, and then came back into the energy space working at LIPA.
Oh, you worked at LIPA also?
Yeah, worked at LIPA for some time, and then PSC&G.
Right.
From there, we moved on after Sandy, which I was here for, and was very, very important work to help folks recover. So I went to work for the governor's office of storm recovery as the chief diversity officer, overseeing the MWBE program and several other civil rights diversity programs at the governor's office of storm recovery for the entire state. And so that was a very fulfilling job, and we were able to help a lot of folks, but also open opportunities for many MWBEs who did not before participate in that work or that type of work. And then I moved on to the New York City, where I am now, with the mayor, Bill de Blasio, who has had a tremendous record on MWBE. And so I've come to this from the corporate sector, work that I've done, small business owner myself, the state, working with the governor's office, and then also now with the city. So I think just covered all the bases essentially around the small business development, economic development work, and also MWBE work. And so happy to be here to discuss our work at the city.
So like you, as far as I can see, that when you worked for the state, when you worked for Keyspan and PSEG, and now New York City, you always had in your heart to help people, because obviously MWBE community needs help. Obviously, all we need is an opportunity.
Yes.
And this is what important for any of MWBE company, which normally it's hard to get.
Yeah.
And so you were there to kind of give that opportunity, but you always had in your heart to help people. Is that what I see it?
Absolutely. So this work is really a commitment to a mission, right? To help folks, a commitment to equity, a commitment to ensuring that the way that the city, the state, even on a corporate sector, really utilizes its resources, its procurement power, is one to uplift individuals, uplift communities that those individuals and businesses are from. And ultimately, the New York City MWBE program is an economic development program.
Yeah,
It's a jobs program.
Absolutely.
Because if we get folks opportunities in certain neighborhoods and
Right.
we're from communities, they go and they hire from those communities.
Absolutely.
And so we know when a job is the best answer to every disparity that we have out there. And so our work is to deal with how do we get folks employed. It's through businesses. Businesses employ people. And if we can engage businesses who are minority and women who have been historically left out of the process before,
Right.
we are then impacting those communities. So the program is an economic development program. We're very happy to do that. So this is a mission-driven work. It is an equity-driven work. It's work that we know it's needed in order for us to level the playing field and advance the communities that these businesses are from, who benefit ultimately through job creation for participating in our program. So that's what's driving me in this work.
I think it's a win-win for everybody, really.
Absolutely
You know,
win-win.
it's kind of, like, for example, community also benefits, the businesses benefits, and also larger business who use WMBE, they also kind of feel good at night, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, look, the more we increase the number of businesses able to participate in the marketplace, it drives costs down and it increases efficiencies because you create competition. And I think that is a misnomer out there that folks think that somehow these programs hinder competition. No, we literally increase competition. There's a study done that says that every $1 million that is spent on construction in particular, let's just talk about that for a minute, construction, you create 25 jobs. So think about that. The billions of dollars. New York City has $100 billion, just about approximately $100 billion in capital projects. Capital, $100 billion in the next 10 years.
Wow.
Okay, think about the 30% of that. That's opportunity. Think about now, for every million, you got 25 jobs created.
Wow. So how many jobs you create?
Well, that's thousands of jobs that
Thousands
were created.
of jobs, right.
And so this program really focuses on how do we then see the opportunity, level the playing field so those who've been excluded historically from this, have an opportunity to participate. At the same time, we're lowering costs and we're increasing efficiencies for the city, for the larger businesses, for the smaller businesses to grow and thrive. I think it's, like you said, it's a win-win all the way.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And we know what, people like us, we are also a minority-owned business, obviously.
Yes.
And we sincerely thank people like you, who is sitting there and who is kind of watching everything, and giving an opportunity to small business, WMBE business. So we thank you for that, really.
Well, look, it's again, this is a mission-driven work for me. The mayor gets it. Mayor Bill de Blasio, when I came to the city from the state, invested in our work, created every opportunity for us to succeed in this work and to open and level the playing field for these firms to participate, firms like yourselves. And so we're very excited about the fact that we're moving the city's program forward, right? And if it doesn't impact the folks we're trying to help, then we're not doing our job.
Right.
But it is making impact, and we are on our way, right? Remember, for 2 decades, essentially, there was essentially no MWBE program in the city of New York.
Wow. For
Think
2
about
decades.
that.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the last 2 administrations, we really did not have an MWBE program with the commitment that we have now. Mayor Bill de Blasio hired the first senior advisor for MWBE. That's myself.
Wow.
Created the first office, the mayor's office of MWBE, okay, in the city's history. Now, you're talking a city that's 80% women and minority.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's the first ever to create this, okay? This is historic. My presence in City Hall is historic. The fact that our work is elevated to the level that it's at is historic. The fact that we have a mayoral office is historic. And the numbers we're reaching are historic numbers. And we know there's a ways to go. There's more work to be done. But I don't want to undermine the reality of where we came from to where we are today. And it's really due to our mayor and his commitment to the work.
You know what, the word you use, commitment, few times, and that is the most important thing.
Correct.
Like I've been also, if you talk about me, that we've been certified since early 90s with the New York State, right?
Yeah.
And obviously previous administration, There was a program. I'm not saying there was no program, but since Governor Patterson came in, the commitment behind the program is more important than program is there, but if you don't have a commitment, then it doesn't work.
Correct.
So when you made, like, couple of times you use the word commitment, which is really important to people like me, because I've seen myself, I've seen myself that how it is committed by Governor Cuomo, also, right from the Governor Patterson to Governor Cuomo, and Governor Cuomo is also kind of very dedicated and committed to this. So, we definitely appreciate the leadership like the Mayor de Blasio and Governor Cuomo to have this program and have a commitment behind it. So
absolutely, I think it's essential. We need executive leadership, and we have executive leadership at the city. And certainly when I was at the state, there was leadership. And so, we cannot do this by ourselves.
No,
and we need the executive to commit to the work. The mayor is committed to that work. Again, creating the first office ever in history and setting really high goals and high marks for the entire city, not just a portion of the city, all of the city to actually participate in. And I think we're seeing some great results.
I really thank, I really thank Mayor also for that, because, as you said, the first time in all these years, 2 decades, this has happened first time. So really feels good, makes me feels good. Let me tell you that right now.
Excellent.
When, what is the goal, what is the goal? Like, New York City, New York State has a goal, like 15, 15, and 6. What is the New York City goal?
So, about 2 years ago, the mayor, in the creation of our office, set really 2 goals for the MWBE program. Before that, he set what we call a One NYC goal. It's sort of our policy document and the goals and initiatives document of the city, and where we map out what's important and what we want to tackle. So in our One NYC program in 2015, the mayor made an announcement that he wanted to award $15 billion to MWBEs by 2025. And so that was historic in itself, because it put a numerical number on a number of awards, the value of awards that we're actually going to award to MWBEs. This was critical. And so after that, we were able to, a year or so later, we were able to really focus in on, well, what does that mean, right? How are we doing with that particular goal, but also how do we see expanding the program and developing the program further? So what the mayor did was he announced at that particular time, at the creation of our office, a 30% goal. Meaning that the city would have a 30% goal for MWBEs, overall goal for MWBEs, which again is historic. And then a 9,000 certification goal, meaning that 9,000 businesses we were looking to certified. We came in at about 35 or 3,700 or so firms were certified with the city. The mayor wanted to jump that to 9,000 because when you have a $16 billion goal at the time and you have a 30% goal, you need the companies to actually participate in the program. And if we're going to level the playing field, we want to do it for everybody, or as many people as possible. And so the mayor has set that 9,000 goal. And now it's important that folks also understand, after a few years of the One NYC goal, which is a large target goal we talked about with 16 billion, we were about 1.8 million ahead of schedule. 1.8 million ahead of schedule when we were tracking to our 2025. So what the mayor did says, I'm going to up the goal. No more 16, 20 billion.
Whoa, wow.
New York City has a $20 billion goal for MWBEs by 2025 to have awarded to MWBEs. This is fantastic. It makes our work exciting. It brings the inertia behind it to get the agencies and the commissioners and our ACO staff, our agency contracting officers, also the MWBE office, the small business department, and what they're doing to certify businesses, but also to engage them in capacity building programs and different programs to help with various issues that businesses may face, such as access to capital, etc. It brings all that to bear when you have executive leadership and you have goals put in front of agencies that they need to meet.
So this is like when you say 20 billion, right? Is it equal to 30%? Is it like like you said 30% goal,
Yes.
right? 30% overall goal. Is it like this 20 billion is for all in across the board or construction? You know, I mean,
No,
one industry.
this
rather.
is for goods and services.
Goods and services,
goods and
across
services,
the board.
everything,
Across the
standard
board.
services, construction services, professional services,
Okay.
actual construction, and everything in between.
Okay.
Goods that the city buys, IT services that
right,
you provide.
Right.
So all those are in this goal. So there's no separation. It's all a part of that. Yeah.
Okay, so now let me, with this platform set, now let's go to who can participate. Means how do you get certified
Sure.
by the New York City to be in WMBE? What are the criterias and who does that?
Yeah, so the certification process at New York City, we're very, very excited about. We were able to make severe changes to the certification process and make adjustments in the certification process to make it more efficient, to simplify it, and to take out redundancies.
Okay.
And I think for us, it was important to do that so that we can, again, remove a barrier to entry. The certification is your first step at getting your foot in the door.
Right.
Without it, agencies can't find you
Right.
because you're not on the directory. Agencies don't know you exist. They
Right.
don't know your capabilities. They don't know your history.
Right.
So our certification process helps prepare the agency and the business to engage with each other.
Right.
And so it's important for us to, when we think about certification, let's view it that way. So the Department of Small Business Services
Okay.
is the agency that actually does the certification, meaning they are in charge of certifying New York City small businesses as MWBEs.
Okay.
So if you are a company owned and controlled, which is important, by a person of color, or you are ran by a woman, you are eligible for our program.
Okay.
You should generally need to be around for about a year.
Okay.
In business.
Okay.
And we would work with you through that process. SBS helps certify the particular companies by engaging them on a one-on-one basis.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have an assignment
Okay.
for to reach your goal as an analyst, and you have to literally speak to MWBEs and talk to them through the process that they have. So it's very, very, very critical. We also understand that the city of New York, our office, when the mayor created our office, it
Right.
was as a one-stop shop. Meaning, we don't want MWBEs having to go to various places to get support. So the mayor's office of MWBE, along with SBS, helps to process all of the complaints and concerns around the process of certification, if there's any, and we help facilitate that process through. So if you are a woman, or a person of color, and you have ownership and control of your firm, then, and you meet that 1 year criteria, you are eligible to be an MWBE in the city of New York. If you're interested in participating in our program, you can reach us at nyc.gov/MWBE. Again, nyc.gov/MWBE. Once you get that landing page, you just click on certification. It'll take you right to our certification
So it's
portal.
online basically.
Yeah, everything's online.
Everything is online. and-
Everything.
Okay, great, great. So
Which
it's
is one of the transitions that we actually made.
Yeah. So once like for the certification, you have to go to nyc.gov/MWMBE, and over there is a icon. There's a link for certification. You
Yes.
click there, and you get kind of directed. Now, when you mentioned before that an analyst will work with you through the process, so you have to, once you fill in all the paperwork, and you make sure you're qualified for the criteria, and then analyst is assigned to you, or how does it work?
Yeah, so during the process of certification,
Right.
Every company is assigned an analyst.
Okay.
And that analyst will ensure not only that all the requisite requirements are met,
Right.
They also are there to help you facilitate that process with you, right? They're held there to make sure that you are filling out the right paperwork, that you are submitting the right documentation, that you're doing it in a timely manner in order for things to get through to the end of the process. We're happy and proud that we certify companies within 6 to 8 weeks in the city.
Oh wow, that's nice.
That is
I was gonna
fast.
ask you that.
yeah, between 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Once you have your paperwork in,
Right.
once everything is together,
Right.
we do that. We reduced the number of required pages to fill out the application. We put it online. We reduce it for efficiency purposes, but also a small business, we have to be mindful. I was a small business owner.
Right, right.
Small businesses, we don't have time
Exactly.
and resources to spend on filling out these very long applications, right?
Agree.
In order to participate in the program that
Right.
you are qualified for. But it is important, and the other side to it is important for us to have a program that has the standard and also meets the integrity of the program and the intention of the program, so that the folks that are in the program are supposed to be in the program, and those benefiting from the program are supposed to benefit from the program. And so we are also very diligent about the integrity of the program being maintained through our certification process. And so we do ask for certain information. We do ask for various records and those kinds of things in order for we to make sure that we've established a program that can meet the constitutional requirements that are required for this these types of programs.
Good. So like once a company goes through this process, then they become certified. That means now they are in the directory, or they are eligible to do business with, as a WMBE, with any agency in the New York City.
Exactly, and that's the entry point, right?
That's
the
point.
doorway.
That's the door, right?
So now that you have listed your NAICS codes, your codes are there, what type of work you do, then the agency who's looking, putting out the procurement, they can then look and view to say, wait a minute, there's a company there that's in technology, one in construction, I need that. They put in the NAICS codes, they search, they get a list, and then they do outreach to those firms to make sure that they're participating in the process. So again, the certification is the first step in the door. And once you get in the door, you're now on the list, and you will start to get updates and emails and also solicitations coming to you for you to bid.
So solicitations that come to you when you say that, right? Is it like kind of once I set up my NIC code and SIC code or whatever it is, it automatically sends me the new solicitations and everything?
Yeah, so I mean, you have to.
How does it work?
You just need to make sure that the city record is the tool that we use.
Good. Okay.
That all procurements go to.
Okay.
So once you're an MWB certified, the analyst will help you facilitate you with that process as well, to make sure that you have set up your alerts with city record, so that as the procurements come out, and you have expressed an interest in that NAICS code or that type of work, then that procurement opportunity will come to you directly, and an invitation to bid. That's one way. The other way is, and I tell MWBs all the time, establishing relationships with the agencies themselves. And so we have procurement fairs, we have MWBE fairs, we have days where MWBEs actually come on site at agencies to work with them and to also discuss opportunities with those agencies. The more you are able to sit with an agency partner, speak with the agency, the better it is, right? You have a better understanding of those agencies, what they require, what they need, and also the services that you can provide to them. That's the second way. The third way is that SBS, the Department of Small Business Services, has what we call capacity building programs. And one of those programs that they do, they train you how to sell to government.
Oh, okay.
If you are an MWBE, there's this one course that you should take out of the SBS portfolio, is how to sell to government. How do I sell my services, my products to the government? And I think it's critical for MWBs to participate in that. And again, they can get all this information through our website, nyc.gov/MWBE. And when you go there, you can click on services and SBS. It's all there. and you were able to just navigate it very easily, more easily than we've had in the past. We can do it now.
So, I've been doing business with government since 1990. So I've been doing it for a long time, right? And I mentor also, people. I mentor small businesses, through the New York State program, and also used to mentor from SBA, Small Business Administration program, right? And I tell people that, listen, this, people are many times afraid of all this thing, right? But this is an investment of your time.
Yeah.
Because once you get into this, there is no end to it. I mean, you can keep going up.
Yeah.
So it's an investment of your time. I know that people, small businesses and WMBE businesses has limited time, but at the same time, once you invest this time, it's an investment basically.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
It's an absolute investment.
Yeah.
It's a business decision that a firm must make to engage the city as one of their potential clients. We believe that the city of New York is open for business.
Right.
The city of New York wants to do business with you as an MWBE.
Right.
It's critical and important for us to say that. Before, in many years before this administration, that was not the case. And what you had was MWBEs who chose not to participate in the city market because the city market was not open for them.
Right.
And so when Mayor de Blasio came in, he made sure that we changed that narrative, we changed that perspective, and our job, and this is why I'm here with you today, is to continue to say to the MWB community and to the community at large, New York City is open for business. If you're a person of color and you own a business, if you're a woman and you own a business, New York City is open for business for you.
Correct.
And we want you to come do business with us.
Very nice, very good. Thank you, thank you. Let me ask you this now. That obviously it's important for any business owner, WMBE. Once you're certified, you have to go through this, like a procurement fair, as you mentioned, events, because if you go like one time, it doesn't work. You have to keep on after going into as many as you can.
Yeah,
and
persistence is key.
Persistence is the key, right?
If you're a small business owner, if you're an entrepreneur,
right?
And again, as a former entrepreneur, I don't know if you ever are a former entrepreneur. No, I mean, it's kind of hard to walk away from it. But as a former small business owner, you must understand being tenacious, being committed, and persistence is essential to your success. And our job is to make sure that on the other side of your commitment, your persistence, your tenacity, your brilliance, your intuitiveness, your ability to adapt, all those things that you're doing as a small business, that we as a city, we're ready and able to engage with you. Meaning all the barriers that were there, we are breaking those barriers down so it makes it easier for you to come participate with us. If we as a city have structural barriers within our procurement process, we've addressed any type of barriers when it comes to access to capital, we've began to address and have addressed effectively, and I'll just touch base on that. Many MWBEs and also small businesses have issues getting funding or financing, I should say, for the work that they are engaging with the city. So the city created a contract finance program. The contract finance program is that if you get a job with us, a contract with the city, we will, through the process, of course, you go through the process, we have now available for you $1 million, $1 million, up to $1 million in loans at 3%.
Wow. Wow.
At 3%. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never heard of a program like where it's capped at 3%.
Right, yeah.
Okay, there are programs out there, but there's no program that allows you to get multiple loans up to $1 million with the city, and also capped at 3%.
Wow.
We know that access to capital is one of the #1 issues that MWBEs face. They can't compete because they can't get the working capital to do the work. And we also know that the markets have discriminated really against small businesses. Overall, either in the terms of agreements or the flexibility of of the loans that they give,
Yeah.
or the repayment terms. I mean, I can go on and on. We know that they treat smaller businesses different than larger ones.
Absolutely.
But small businesses are the engine of America.
Right.
98% of the business activity and employments that happen in the country is done by small businesses.
Right. Yep.
So
yep, yep.
why are we penalizing small businesses for doing exactly what we want them to do, which is engage the local economy and hire people from the local economy? The mayor said, we're going to put aside $10 million for this fund. And we went out, my team and myself and others went out into the private sector banks and spoke to them about, we need you to come join us.
Right. Right.
With the $10 million the mayor's put in,
Right.
and we've raised another $41 million from 4 banks.
Wow,
So
okay.
that pot now, not only for the contract finance fund, for our bond collateral assistance program. So if you are doing construction
Right,
and you need bonding assistance, that's $10 million.
Right.
And also our emerging developer loan program for developers who are seeking sort of gap financing to help them with their projects, who are MWBEs. Those were $30 million that the city put aside. We went and raised another $41 million. So the whole pot together now is $71 million
Wow.
available for MWBEs at low interest rates. And so we're very excited about that program.
Good, very good. This is like a very, I mean, your office basically creates this kind of ideas and,
Absolutely.
right? Obviously. So we have to definitely thank you for that.
Yeah, one of the things that, again, I take a lot of the policy and initiatives that we do at the city
Right.
based upon my personal experience as well as a business owner.
I think it's very important.
And understanding the capacity issues
Right.
that we have when it comes to just time
Right.
and resources,
Right.
not skill.
Right.
MWBEs are very good at what they do.
Exactly.
It's the challenge of paperwork
Right.
and time and
Right.
resources
Right.
and filling. That's where the challenges are.
That's what
So that's where the capacity challenges are, not in can they do the job.
Right. Yep.
We have almost a 0 default rate on contracts for MWBEs. I mean,
Yep.
so MWBEs perform.
Yep.
They do great work.
Right.
It's the paperwork and processing and those kinds of things, and
They get
the
scared of.
inefficiencies that we've got to
Yeah.
help clear
Right.
up for these firms so they can be successful in our program.
I think you're very right, though. You're very right. I mean, I agree with you. On my business, I mean, I've been doing this for 32 years, obviously, and I, my experience is the same thing. And when you mention persistence, I mean, I will not leave you alone until
I know
you
that.
tell me until you tell me no.
Yeah.
And even if you tell me no, I'll reapproach you again 3 months later.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give up on anybody. Period.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. So I've had this situation happen before, and hey, listen, that's how it works. So you just have to make it work, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I think the other important part, Raj, is to note that there was a person on the other side who was also committed
Right.
to your success.
Right.
And that is what we're about. We're on the other side of the phone, of
Right.
the email, of the conversation,
Right,
of the
right.
procurement fair but we're on the other side, on the government side,
Right.
to say, we support you
Right.
and we want to make sure that you succeed, right? And that is what we want our MWBEs to know. Like, the city of New York wants you to succeed, and there's a system in place in order for you to do that. And thanks to our mayor, we were able to establish that
It's a
system.
commitment, right? As we said before, commitment. Commitment is very important, and commitment comes from leadership. And if their leadership supports and committed, then things can happen.
Exactly.
So obviously, mayor is very committed to this.
Absolutely
Right.
committed.
So I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and we do appreciate really very much, and it's win-win, as I said before. Let me ask you this now. There was a major announcement about 3 weeks ago. I heard on the radio that the mayor has increased the limit of WMBE contracts to $1 million.
Oh, let me explain what that is. So,
Right.
and not to make it complicated, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible.
Right.
The city has the ability through state law and state finance law to grant discretionary contracts to MWBEs.
Okay.
Right now, the city has a $150,000 discretionary limit.
Okay.
Before our office came into being, we had a $20,000 limit. Yeah, 20,000. Can
What do
you
you
believe
get?
it?
20,000.
I have no idea what you get
How
for
many pens I can
$20,000. But it was an antiquated structure and system.
Wow.
We went to the state and with a host of other MWBEs and our state legislators,
Right.
and we got the law for New York City changed from 20,000 to 150,000.
Okay.
So we were able to bump that. Just so you know, in just a year, under a year, we were able to move at least 840 contracts out the door at the tunes of $62 million for MWBEs. Before, it was half that. Or even further, actually, than that. And so we know that by increasing the discretionary threshold, meaning taking away some of the onerous paperwork and processing, et cetera, all those kinds of things that are not really necessary or tied to efficiency or tied to the way that we do business with an MWBE. When we do that and we make it easier and remove that barrier and give the agencies the flexibility to go to MWBEs directly and contract with them, we know that we doubled the utilization in that particular category.
Wow. Okay, so there was a, proof basically,
Yeah.
data.
And so the mayor saw that. He says, wait a minute. We need to do more and we need to do it faster.
Right.
Because the situation in the MWBE community is urgent.
Right.
These contracts, again, go into these firms, building communities, building folks who work for them. It's a job creation. We need to do more. And so the mayor, a couple weeks back, we're very excited, made an announcement that the city is pushing for $1 million in discretionary spending at the state level. $1 million. So what does that mean? That means the process of the long procurement process and the onerous paperwork and the things that are unnecessary for, again, efficiency and performance, removing that and giving the agencies the flexibility to actually engage the MWBEs directly, up to $1 million, is something that we're pushing and asking the state for. The bill was submitted to the state authorities. We are waiting and engaging them at the moment to see where we would land. But we're very excited about that. This can open up, just so you know, $500 million in opportunity for MWBEs. $500 million. That's where we believe that this can potentially have an impact. If you think about $500 million, what that actually means for the MWBE community, it is a game changer.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It's a game changer for the MWBE community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it puts a smile on my face.
Well, we're hoping to do that to our MWBEs who are in our work, to put a smile on their face. The mayor, again, is committed to it. The state legislature was there with us, many of the members, as you saw on our when we did the announcement, and so they're very supportive of it. We're looking to get that. Right now, we know that other agencies have higher than us. The state is higher. The governor proposed a higher number for the state, higher than our 150 that we have. The MTA has a higher one. I mean, so we're saying that, look, we want parity at some level, but we know in the city of New York that we need to do more. We need to do more because for decades there was no engagement in this community, and now we're trying to correct a wrong of decades-old policies that sort of excluded these businesses from participation. One way that we do that is by dealing with the discretionary threshold, and that's what the mayor is pushing for.
Let me go over, your office kind of monitors all the sub-agencies in the New York City, whether they are following this 30% goal, and you get the data from all the agencies, and you make sure, like ESD, Empire State Development, right? I mean, you're kind of Empire State Development for the New York City.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a bit different. We are the mayor's office, so it is unique in that regard, that we are a mayoral agency. And because we are a mayoral agency, all the mayoral agencies that come under the mayoral control, and also the what we call non-mayoral agencies or quasi-mayoral agencies, those are which the mayor still appoints the head and is also subject to mayoral control, such as NYC SCA, DOE, those organizations. We also are responsible for what they do. And so we are very happy and excited to be able to have that span of all city agencies, no matter what sort of distinction they may have. And so, yes, we do work with every agency, every commissioner in the city, every MWBE officer at those agencies to really advance the mayor's goals on increasing the MWBE participation.
Good, very good. You know, you have a big mission, and wanted to wish you all the best. And I'm already you're doing best, but you can still do better than put a lot of smiles on many different faces.
Yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, for us, this is a mission-driven work.
Right.
And we believe in the small businesses. We believe what they do for communities. We believe that if we work with small businesses, help those small businesses to advance, that we are affecting the communities that they're from. I'm on Long Island today with you because we have 12% of our MWBEs are from Long Island, like you.
Right, exactly.
And so our not only is the city region important, we also engage the Suffolk and Nassau County. So we have MWBEs in Suffolk and Nassau County who are participating in our program and also in other counties. And so we're very excited about that. And that's why I'm here to also tell our folks on Long Island, get certified. The city of New York is open for business. We need you to come and participate in our work and help us not only to reach these goals, but the ultimate mission. The ultimate mission is the communities, the impact of job creation and job growth. That's what we're doing. And leveling the playing field, making it an equitable environment and a fair environment. The mayor says we are going to be and are the fairest big city in America. It's important for us to be fair.
Right, I agree.
Right, to be fair. And so if we level the playing field, we make it fair so that everyone that needs to participate are able to participate, we are very excited about the work that we're doing. So thank you, and we do appreciate that much.
I think really you have given a nice, good knowledge to the viewers of this program, and I really appreciate it. Let me go on now on a personal side. What do you do after, when you work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day in your office, or you kind of go everywhere and reach out to a lot of different communities, people that. When you go home, what do you do?
Well, I'm just grateful and thankful to have a beautiful family to go home to speak with, to work with my children, my family. I mean, that's what it's about for me, and that gives me lots of pleasure, and they keep me busy too.
So another job.
And my other job, as much as I am enjoying this job, and it keeps me busy and motivated, they keep me busy and motivated. What we do is also for the next generation.
Right.
And we're trying to make a better world, a better place for the next generation. And that's what someone did for me. That's what someone did, I know, for you, so that we all can have a place to actually thrive and grow. And that's what my work is all about. And certainly that's the same thing with my family.
So when you go home, you just be with family and enjoy yourself. And what do you have any hobbies, or you sports or any kind of thing?
Two things, and I want to call it a hobby. It's because another mission. I'm a minister, and so we have do ministry within the community to reach the people who are hurting, broken, but also folks who have challenges, to get services and so forth and so on, and either clothing or food or scholarship programs, all these things we do, and so we're very excited about that. But also, I'm a golfer.
Oh,
does that count?
Of course. Well, that's what I was looking for. That what do you do?
So I love to golf. Haven't had a chance to do much of it with the work that we do because it keeps us busy. But I love it. It's a really a sport that I enjoy, and whenever I get a chance to do it, that's what I do.
Do you sing?
Pardon?
Do you sing?
Do I sing?
Yes.
Well, I don't know if I sing. I sing, but I don't know if I sing. And there's a difference. I can hold a note, but I'm not sure if I sing. I mean, that's like that's for the professionals and folks who know how to do that work.
So you probably listen then.
Yeah, I'm a good listener.
Like music.
Yes, I was involved in music for many years, even in college, and with gospel choirs and groups and writing. I'm a drummer myself.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I wrote songs, all those kinds of things. Yeah, I love to do that. Again, making sure we find time to have a balance to do some of those things to keep us grounded is important. But yeah, whenever I get a chance to do it, I do it. Absolutely.
So at this young age, you read a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously you moved from a smaller place like Keyspan to a state level to a city level. Running a bigger and bigger programs. What is next for you? Is there any next now?
Well, no. What's next is reaching our 30% goal.
Okay.
What's next is getting to that 20 billion.
Right.
That work remains. That work is real, and that work is impacting thousands of businesses and tens of thousands of lives. We are so committed to this work, and the mayor's committed to this work. So for me, we've got to hit those goals, right? We've got to get there. It's critically important to the wherewithal of these businesses, the growth in the economy. Right. Again, we're an economic engine. We drive the economy every single day. Right. And if we're able to engage the economy to make it more equitable, fair, that's my job. That's my goal. That's my next. And so that's the work that I enjoy doing. That's what I'll continue to do.
I know you have a time limit here, but I just wanted to touch upon just for a maybe 30 second or whatever. The subcontracting opportunity, because many of the contract may be large enough and WMBE community may not be able to handle those. So how a company or a smaller company, WMBE company, can subcontract with a major contract?
This is critical.
I mean,
subcontracting, I think the certification process is put in to our program. Subcontracting is a foot into sort of contracting, because ultimately we want to grow you from a subcontractor to a prime contractor.
Right.
And so our work at SBS is geared to that, to helping you build from a small contractor to a prime contractor. Right. Our access to capital funds are there to help you to get the resources you need to build from a subcontractor to a prime contractor. And then we are, and our team is able to facilitate with the agencies and the prime contractors through our goal setting process to ensure that they are actually meeting the goals that are required. Right. And so for an MWBE looking to subcontract, the system and structure is there. Now it's about engagement. So here's what we tell our MWBEs. Okay. One, you have to seek out our forums and our events and so forth, those things that are listed on our website and SBS website, where you can actually engage us, right? And so at those events, at those forums, not only are agencies and their representatives present, we also have prime contractors present. Right. And those prime contractors are able to engage with the MWBEs in order to help them to reach their goals and their objectives. And so that is what we're looking to do on that side. We also tell the subcontracting community that it's important for them to make themselves available, right, to these prime contractors. Meaning pre-bid meetings. Even if you see the scope of work includes scope that you can actually subcontract on, you need to go to the pre-bid meetings. Right. And at the pre-bid meetings, there are prime contractors who are seeking to bid on the whole project, but also who are seeking subcontractors to help them meet the goals.
They have to meet the goal.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so the agencies also, the last part is the agency. Right. Once you're dealing with the agencies and so forth, and you get familiar with the agencies and you speak with the agency representatives, they can help facilitate you also to say, well, here are some prime contractors we have existing. You can speak with them about opportunities. Right. And so we work through that process, and it's available for subcontractors or MWBEs who are seeking subcontracting opportunities. But the main thing is getting yourself in your business in front of these firms, in front of the prime contractors, in front of us, so we can help facilitate the process, but also being engaged. It's city record, where's opportunities, where are the pre-bid meetings, and as you do that, you're able to go and meet the prime contractors, meet those who are in charge of managing the prime contractors and ensuring that they reach their goal. And so this opportunity, I think, is important because we have a robust subcontracting program, but MWBEs also need to participate.
Of course, without that nothing happens, obviously, right? So obviously, So, you heard that if you want to be a part of $20 billion pot, first step is to go to nyc.gov/WMBE and start with the certification process, and then you go from there. And you have to be persistent. You have to be, you have to set a goal that this is an investment of my time. It's not an expense. It may take a little longer, but hey, listen, once it starts, the faucet starts, the water will come all the time.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it, when you do this kind of thing, right? So we appreciate your time today. I know you have not too much time, but we took so much time from you. So really thank you so much for all your wealth of knowledge that you have provided us about the mayor's goal, your vision, what you want to achieve. So thank you so much. Really
Raj, no,
appreciate it.
thank you. For the work that you do to bring light to the MWBE program. We know you've had several other of my colleagues here.
Yes.
And I think it's important that you do that and that you bring to the community the voice, right? That where the opportunity lies. And so it's my pleasure to be here. I'm happy to be here. And again, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, comments, you can email me at rajmitv@gmail.com. That's again rajmitv@gmail.com. You can watch our prior shows on YouTube at youtube.com/Infosys International. Again, that's youtube.com/Infosys International. Until next time, have a great week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you.